Okay, so maybe you're manifesting but you don't get any results, and today this video will make you achieve all those manifestation just within 21 days. And I have seen results with my eyes within people, and I'm on the journey myself. So, the overall point of this entire manifestation new theory is driven by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and it's really fascinating how he connects different quantum topics to manifestation and makes it more scientific and makes it more practical in general. So he is basically his four-step process that he sort of follows within his entire book that I recently read. And these four steps, now what I'm going to tell you, if you follow them exactly to the T in your life, then yeah, you can actually change your entire life and become the person you want to become and achieve all of those aspiring things that you have in your life that will be really manifested just within 21 days. Okay, so first is, let's be aware. Observe your conscious thoughts and behaviors and feelings, and don't judge them. So usually what happens is we usually get prejudiced to certain different behaviors and certain reflexes. So whatever this person will say will kind of transform it in our head in such a way that this person is bad, this person is good. And not just that, there are some certain limitations in our head which we need to be aware to. So for example, you have been taught since your childhood that earning money is really hard. And until unless you don't get that thought out of your head, there's no way you're going to earn money. Because you think subconsciously, unconsciously, that earning money is hard. So be aware, whatever decisions you are taking, is it really your decision, or is it been through some of those experience or some of those things or some of those influences that have been constantly above your head since the time you're born. And that's why I said last video that how to stop being a slave to society's expectation, and that we talked about the same thing, that you need to be aware regarding your unconscious thoughts, regarding your behavior, regarding your feelings, and how you react to them, to different situations that come up to you. What would you be your reflex, and how do you react? How do you just prejudice a particular condition without even thinking about it, without even facing it? You sometimes just create a judgment. You either blame someone, you either criticize yourself. You don't even know, you just start to react. Okay, so one, we need to be aware that whatever we are thinking, is it practical, is it according to our rationality, and is it properly derived by our understanding, or is it just our influences, or is it just some things that have been stereotyped into your head? Okay, so just like I said, earning money for you, for many people, earning money is like, oh my god, it's so hard. But until and unless you don't get that thought out of you, those $1 billion you're imagining will just be an imagination. So first, be aware about whatever things you are thinking, and try to get to know those patterns, that whenever this happens, I react in this way. Whenever I think about money, I think it's hard. Okay, so get out these patterns. In certain way you react to different stimuluses, and this is the way you'll kind of derive that, okay, this is the way I'm reacting to these particular situations. Understand, we made a list, so we are now aware. Now deriving to the next step after this is, stop being that self. Understand that interrupting the old subconscious program and return to your present moment. What happens is, sometimes you don't consciously think, oh, this person said this to me, now let me think, before just constantly thinking about those stereotypical situations that I have in my head. So for example, if a fat person comes up to you and gives you a speech about healthiness, you're not going to hear it, right? Because it's a stereotypical, it's the way you kind of think about it. But maybe that guy might have a crazy transformation ahead. Maybe he has already lost a lot of weight. You never know. So my opinion is, and his opinion is, to remove that old belief. Whatever you are aware about the situation, now we created a list, right? So go through that list and understand that where you are lacking. Okay, where are those points where those will constantly be a hurdle in your way when you try to be that future self. So whatever you are imagining, whatever person you are trying to be, these small stereotypical situations, or these small thoughts or behaviors, or this subconscious programming will stop you from being that person. So your consciousness has been aligned in such a way that making money or being successful or doing something big in your life is hard, then your ultimate goal to be successful will never be achieved unless and until you defeat this thought. Okay, so you have to stop thinking, you have to be aware, and you have to kill your old self that no, I can make money, no, I can be successful, okay, no, I want to do this thing, I will do this thing. Suppress that old self, because that's not you speaking, that's your entire childhood, the way you go through everything that have constantly influence you in your life, your society, your parents, your relatives, some of those things that might have happened, your childhood traumas, this, that, whatever happens within your teenage years stays with you for your entire life, and sometimes they are those hurdles that are stopping you from being that self. So sometimes we have to kill our old self, we have to kill our old stereotypically programmed subconscious mind, and try to be aware about the present, live in the present moment, understand whatever the person is speaking without prejudice. Okay, so without just getting to a judgment that this person would be like this, instead of being judgmental, be thoughtful, be mindful, be in the present moment, and understand what that person is saying, understand what this particular thing means, whether can I achieve it or not. Use your mentality, use your mindfulness into it, instead of just being a programmed thing. Try to be yourself by killing that old programming. Simple, just you have to kill those programmings, because when you want to write something good, you need a clean slate. Okay, and it's always say that a clean slate is better than to have a slate on which there is something written wrong. Okay, so you want to be a clean slate now, so rubbish all of those old things, now you have to rub them off. Okay, simple. Next is to change your energy and state of being, you will have to align your intentions with your future self. Okay, so align with your intentions and generate emotions associated to your desire and your future self. So understand, the Aryan that would be really successful, the Aryan that would be really handsome, that would be really physically fit, okay, would have abs, would be earning so much, would be earning this X amount of money, okay, would never be like me. Okay, so whatever your old self was, whatever your pre-programmed self was, or whatever that dead-ass self was, now that cannot be your future self. So once we did all of these programming, we now removed that programming, we understood our awareness, we removed it, we removed all of those hurdles from our life. Now we need to think is, would that person react to this particular situation in which way? So just think about it, a person who's earning money, a person who's really successful, what would be his mentality regarding money? He would say, oh, it's pretty easy to make. You just need to do this little thing, you just need to have this little tweak here, and yeah, you can earn money. So develop all of those emotions, understand that what that person is that you are trying to be, and then go for it. Write down all of those things, because we are not, those amazingly derived or innate intelligence human beings. So what we need to do is, you need to write down all of those things, those particular traits that your future self, your aspiring self would have. Okay, so for example, for me it was that older self, that new version of me would never stay in his bed sleeping for 12 hours a day, would never skip his college just to do nothing. Okay, so when he's skipping colleges, he'll do something good with his day. He'll create posts, he'll do outreaches, he'll do this, he'll do that. He'll never be lazy. Okay, he'll never just sit down and just look everywhere, try to overthink. No, he'll be focused on his goal, he'll try to work on his goals. So that's the person I'm imagining, and these are his certain traits. He'll go to gym, he'll keep his diet very clean. Earlier I used to think that Aryan, once I'll be rich, I'll have a good diet. Okay, because ultimately what diet you want as a vegetarian is so much derived on really expensive foods. So as a vegetarian, you need to eat cottage cheese, you need to eat tofus, or you need to eat protein powders, and all of these things are expensive. And so once I heard myself say that, Aryan, once you have money, your diet will automatically be cleaned. But that's the wrong way. You want your diet cleaner, because that future person will have his diet clean, will have his financials ready. So you need to be prepared in such a way that doesn't matter if it's expensive. I'll try to use some cheap option, but I'll keep my diet clean. Simple. And that's the way you start aligning all of your thoughts and emotions, and start to think as the person that your future self is. He'll never think these small things. He'll never think about the small conversation again and again. He'll not overthink. He'll heal himself. Maybe you go through a breakup. What next? Okay, I never go through one, so I never knew that. But maybe you are going through a breakup. Okay, just understand, how would that person be? How would he react in this situation? Bring that bigger self, bring that bigger person, that bigger version of you. How would he deal with this situation? And that's the way you deal. Simple. And slowly, as you do this, you will actually become that person. That's the way it goes. There's nothing such as so mind-blowing rocket science in this. You be that person. You follow his routine. You follow his discipline. Simple. If you know what Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg did in their initial days of their startups, if you do them exactly, why won't you build? Not to level of a Facebook or not to level of Tesla or Amazon, but you will build a good startup, right? So my point of view is, when you imagine your bigger self, write down his traits and be that person and shape yourself to follow those exact traits, then you become that person. Simple. It's simple. It's like you get a glass rod, you melt it, you get that heat burning so that it gets that temperature. Now it's malleable. Now you can shape in its any form. What did we do? We polished the glass for that. Second, we heated that glass for that. And third, now we are malleating that glass in whichever shape we want. It's simple. You can shape your reality exactly like this by being aware, by polishing that glass rod. Second, by heating it, by removing that old self from you, by removing that programmed self from you, which is unconsciously doing stuff without even you knowing. You remove that self. And third, now we are heating it. Now we'll malleate it in such a way that it goes in the shape we want it. So you now be that person you imagine. You are that person because you follow that exact routine. You follow that exact traits. You do what that person would do. Simple. So you are that person now. And now the fourth thing. Return to your life with full consciousness. Mindfully re-engage with your life, repeating the cycle as needed. So now, once you have done these things, you have malleated yourself. Now you are acting and behaving like that person. Now you need to get back to your life and try to implement those things. We have written down how that person would be, what are his traits. Now it's time to follow it. Now it's time to be intentional with your manifestation. Now it's time to be intentionally that guy. That guy will not eat salt. We are not eating salt. That guy will not do this particular thing. Maybe it might be some addiction, like you might be in some smoking addiction. That future self of yours will never smoke. So yeah, I can't smoke. Simple. Simple. That's simple. And this is the way you re-engage with your life with mindfulness. Now you'll think about what's going on in your life. You'll actively be engaging with your life. You're living those moments of your present. Okay, those fruitful moments, that many people don't face because they are programmed. They just directly react without even processing the entire situation. They just directly react. You won't, because you have unprogrammed yourself. You have removed that previous programming. Now you are being that new person. You are following his traits. You are going on his steps. Simple. And so basically we consider this entire format as a linear one, but it's actually a cyclic one. Once you go at that person, once you go and be that, you'll realize, there are this certain new programmings I have. Now lose them. Try to be that another new person that you want to be. It's a constant loop. It's a cycle. It will constantly be a learning cycle through your entire life. And think how practical is it. You get an iron rod, you remove all the rust, you manifest, you kind of heat it, and then you manifest it into such a form that is, maybe your mic, your pen, whatever it can be, metal thing. It can be malleated into any form. Your jewelry, anything. So that's the same thing. You are malleable as iron. You're malleable as glass. You just need to remove that overcoating. You need to heat yourself and shape yourself in the way you want. It's simple. And do that things. No, don't just note them down that that person would do these things. Go and be that person. Simple. So go write down all of those things that first you are kind of articulated in such a way to behave. You are kind of since your childhood, you have been certainly programmed, or you have this prejudiced mindset regarding the world. You have some exact mindset, or that worst mindset that I can say for a particular thing. Remove it. Try to be that new person. Try to think newly. Be aware about your surroundings. Now, let's note down all of those things that person in our future might be. As we write it down, now it's time to follow that. Now it's time to follow his steps. Now it's time to be in his traits. Now it's time to be in his shoes and be that person. Simple. It's just like melting an iron and transforming it into a better form. That's it. Bye. Jai Jinendra. Take care of your mom and dad. Stay safe. Make them feel proud. Stay proud of yourself. And understand that it may be sometimes hard, but yeah, it's achievable. And unless you don't believe on yourself, there's nothing coming by your side, there's nothing helping you, there's no one going to protect you, there's no one coming to save you. You are the only one, you are the only savior of your life. God will give you the shove, okay, will give you those axe and shoves to get that diamond, but you will have to yourself work hard and get those diamonds. Simple. Okay, so go work hard, be that person. Don't just aimlessly do things. Do the things that person would do if you want to actually be that person. Simple. Bye. Jai Jinendra. Take care of yourself. Stay safe.